Okay, I've come back to question 8 because I was hoping I might find a slicker way of doing it, but this is actually what I used. This is actually what I did in the end. So we know that the sum of the first 3 terms is 23 and 3/4. Now, I am not a fan of mixed numbers, so I'm going to convert that to an improper or top-heavy fraction, which is actually generally much more useful. And we know that the sum of the first 4 numbers is 40 and 5/8. So I'm going to do the same thing there, which actually comes to 325 divided by 8. And I'm actually going to make that 190 divided by 8, equivalent fraction of the same denominator, because I'm going to subtract these. Why am I going to subtract these? Because S4, the sum of the first 4 terms, is the sum of the first 3 terms plus the 4th term. So I can find U4 by subtracting 325 divided by 8 minus 190 divided by 8, which gives me 135 divided by 8. Now, this is where I don't like this question, and I don't think it's really appropriate at this level unless somebody's got a slicker way of doing this they're prepared to share with me, which I would be delighted to see. Because the only way, the 2 ways I could do the rest of this. One is by going through a lot of algebra and trying to solve a quartic equation, which I could only do using a calculator. And then otherwise I could actually use kind of trial and error or brute force on this, because U4 is equal to U1 times R cubed. So U1 times R cubed is equal to 135 over 8. Now, what I figured here is, well, is there some simple cube number and which I can substitute in here, which would give me a nice straightforward answer for U1, because you're going to get answers, if it's non-calculated work, you're going to get answers which are nice, either simple fractions or integers. And I looked first at the 8. So I thought maybe R is something divided by 2, because 2 cubed would be 8. And then I looked at 135 and I decided to look for factors which were cubes. So what I came up with is that is actually 5 times 27 over 8. So if I take this as being R cubed, this as being U1, that gives me R is 3 over 2. 3 over 2 cubed is 27 over 8, and U1 is equal to 5. Find the first term and the common ratio. There's the answer. And this works, but it's not a very satisfactory, it's not a very mathematical way of finding it. Choose and improve, trial and error, brute force, I don't think is generally very satisfactory. So I'm not impressed with this as a question, unless somebody can see a simple way of doing it algebraically. And I would be delighted to hear it, so please do shout if you know that. Okay, and that's the missing question, that's the last one, so I'm going to sign off here.